Okay, first things first, we're actually on time this week, so shout outs to us. I'm gonna give me a cheer right there as well as you. But welcome once again, ladies and gentlemen, to the North Carolina Tar Heels Live podcast. I am one of your hosts with the most, Tornado McCray, or as some people in government circles may know me, as you can see there. I'm not going to say it, but I am also the captain of the Hooligan Express. And that gentleman over there is my co-host. Go ahead and introduce yourself to the people who cannot see your face but may want to hear your voice. I don't know.
Hello. Welcome to the North Carolina Live podcast with your hosts, Captain of the Hooligan Express, Myron McCray, and proficient procrastinator, Joel Rice, aka Ricebox 26.
Did y'all order a voicemail? Because I didn't.
Leave your message at the beep. Bop.
Well, I guess we can't leave a message, guys. I don't know how this is going to go.
Voicemail is broken. But it was good, peoples. Welcome back for another week of shenanigans and North Carolina news.
Now he says that and then hits the Zoolander face like he's so confused.
Oh, I was a little confused by this article title for a second.
I mean, you put it there.
That's good now.
You put it there.
Oh no, this was a different one. I was looking at some other stuff.
Of course you were. But guys, we are going into this week. A lot more info has transpired across the nation. A lot more things have transpired with the world of Chapel Hill. And to start it off, apparently we got a transfer from Ohio State coming in.
That we do. Hold on. Eyes itch. Why? But no. Okay.
Because you don't use your eye drops. That's why.
I don't have eye drops.
And that's why. That's your problem. And that's why your eyes itch.
I have special eyes. You leave me alone.
You do. You do. You have very special eyes, sir.
So Ohio State transfer Jelani Thurman, who is currently a junior, 2 years left of eligibility, is, aiming to get a bigger role now that he's transferred into UNC. Because he's come in, has played 3 seasons, had 33 games with Ohio State, and, overall doesn't have a lot, major stats to really say for, his career at this point.
I feel like that's been kind of the catalyst of the transfer portal right now, is we're getting guys who coming from some notable places, but may or may not have the 5-star or 4-star stats that you're just like, oh yeah, this could be a game changer off rip. Now I'm not saying he can't. Obviously, as we go into more of
the crazy thing is about it is he was the number 5 tight end in the nation coming out of high school.
Facts.
So he was a top recruited guy, 6'6", 250 pounds. And over his 33 games that he's played, his biggest game was his freshman year at the Cotton Bowl in 2023. Kid went off for 13 catches, 144 yards, and 2 touchdowns against Missouri.
And they just refused to utilize him, or did he just get beat out for the tight end spot?
From the looks of it, he just kept getting beat by another tight end. Or whenever he was on the field, it was like he was mostly used as a blocking tight end. Or he wasn't. He was 3rd or 4th option in the set. So last year or this past season, he had 7 catches for 84 yards. So he's not on the field very often. So last year, compared to that one game, has been his best season. So, and he has, and looking at his numbers, he has improved over the last 3 seasons. So it's not that he's gotten worse. It's just that he's gotten more and more opportunity as the seasons have gone on.
He's gotten more opportunities or fewer opportunities?
He's gotten more opportunity by comparison. Because he had 7 receptions, 84 yards for 1 touchdown this year. And he played in 5 games. So he didn't play in a whole lot of games.
That sounds like he's getting fewer opportunities.
Nah, he's gotten more because the season before, 4 receptions for 42 yards and a touchdown. In 2023, 2 receptions for 18 yards and no touchdowns.
Then how does he have 13? Now does he have 13 catches and 144 yards in the Cotton Bowl?
It was in the Cotton Bowl.
That's still part of his season.
They didn't mark it as any of his stats for the regular season. I don't know why. I don't understand it either.
This is the one. Wait a minute. This is the one sport where your bowl game stats are added into your regular season stat. What?
I don't understand it either.
What?
And it looks like he was actually at a tight ends. He was the third leading tight end behind Max Clare, who I will not hit there and deny is being seen as like a first or second day draft pick now that he's declared to the draft. I don't know nothing about Will Kamarick or Kaczmarek, but he had 15 receptions for 168 yards and 2 touchdowns. The other thing from what I've noticed, though, Ohio State didn't really throw to their tight ends a ton, because even Claire only came out with 43 receptions for 448 yards. So they're not throwing deep to these tight ends on a regular basis. 10 yards on an average is what he's gotten, even with your starting tight end, who once again is seen as a high draft pick going into this draft this year, only averaged 10.5 yards per reception. So they're not really using them as a deep rounder, as a deep threat. They're using them mostly as, we need to move the chains and we need a big body to do it.
Oh. So.
Because even with Thurman, he was averaging 12 yards a catch. So he was more of the deep threat tight end as compared to the other tight ends. But it is what it is.
So I ain't trying to. I think I see where you got that stat of 13 catches, 144 yards, and 2 TDs. That wasn't during the Cotton Bowl. That was over the course of his career.
Did that say career? I thought that said Cotton Bowl.
I'm looking at it right now. Over the course of his career at Ohio State, because you said 7 catches, 4 catches, and 2 catches. That's 13 catches, 144 yards, and 2 touchdowns over these 3 years.
Yeah, whoever wrote this wrong then. Because in this article, they wrote over 3 seasons at Ohio State, Thurman appeared in 33 games, including a start against Missouri in the Cotton Bowl, and he ended up finishing that game with 13 catches, 144 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, they wrote that wrong because
they wrote that.
Because literally, because this is what I looked at, which is why I was
because looking at the stats, it's a total of 13 catches for 144 yards, 2 touchdowns.
You see what I'm saying? Because I was like, wait a minute. And when you said the stat line again, I was like, hold up. This is his career total. So whoever wrote that article, they definitely wrote it misleading you. So I can see how you got there.
Yeah, nobody fact checked that. So nobody went and double checked that one. Somebody's editor needs to get like chopped in the neck.
I'm like, wait, I'm like, hold up. I'm like, they didn't use him, but he had 13 catches and 144 yards in a game, but you didn't try to use this kid anymore? Like, that just didn't make sense to me.
Yeah, so that's what that was. Because even then, even receiving wise, outside of Tate and Smith, Claire was the next leading receiver, which was 400 yards less than the 2 receivers. Because it went from Smith with 1,250 yards to Tate at 875 yards to Claire at 448 yards. So they weren't throwing to anybody else but those 2.
It's like, I guess we'll throw to you, Claire and Enos.
And Jeremiah Smith was catching everything. That kid had 87 receptions for 1,243 yards. I mean, averaging 14 yards a catch.
He was their number 1 receiver for a reason, but this ain't no Ohio State podcast because if we keep talking about them, Steve gonna show up.
Good, bring him back in here.
Steve gonna show up, but it is good. It is a good thing that he's coming to North Carolina, and
one, he brings a good decent amount of experience for one. 2, with him being a big body guy. That's an extra guy we can use for blocks because Max was good as a blocking tight end, but
you mean Jake?
Yeah, Jake. My bad, Jake Johnson.
They brothers. I get it. They brothers. I understand.
The brothers Johnson.
Here's my thing. and I'm gonna say this: you go to Ohio State, you don't obviously the ball wasn't getting thrown your way, but then again, when you had Jeremiah Smith and Claire on your team, like I'm sorry, bro, and you weren't the starting tight end, so yeah, you weren't getting the ball thrown your way like that. Over the course of your career, you're coming to North Carolina looking for a bigger role. Now, one, when you come in here, you are the Ohio State tight end. Even if you were the backup, you are looked upon as the Ohio State tight end that's transferred here, which means people are expecting you to essentially ball out in the tight end room. Like you wanted a bigger role. You can't come in here half stepping. You can't come in here just lollygagging, thinking it's going to be easy, so on and so forth. And you automatically got the bigger role. You know what I mean?
That's fair though.
Because he played at Ohio State first, he's got that target on him that you have to perform at least at the level that Ohio State would have wanted you at. You can't come here claiming to want a bigger role, and then you get the starting role and you shrink even more in these situations. It's like now you really have to put up or shut up. So I hope he can. He came from Ohio State, which I'm not gonna knock him for the sins of his past.
Yeah, and also looking at his stats from just this past season, all of his games that he showed up in were all like unimportant blowout games. He showed up against Grambling, Ohio, Washington, Purdue, and Rutgers, and all of those games were blowouts. Like Grambling was 70-0, Ohio was 37-9, Washington was 24-6, Purdue was 34-10, and Rutgers was 42-9. So at Ohio State, yeah, you were a garbage time tight end, but even then, you were also the third tight end on the roster, from what I can tell.
So from what I'm seeing, he showed up in every game, but he didn't have a stat in every game. Kind of like how you were saying, where he showed up like Grambling, Ohio, Washington, Purdue, and Rutgers.
Yeah,
those were the only games where he got a reception or something thrown his way this past year. Whereas every other game, he didn't have a reception. He didn't even have a target his way as I'm looking at the game logs. So, yeah, he definitely was not the guy. He was not the guy in the tight end room. Like, and that's not no disrespect to him. It's just the nature of the truth. They didn't throw to you. They didn't throw to anybody.
And once again, the two guys in front of you were seniors. So they were already guys that were there. They were seniors. They already had the time in front of you. It is what it is. So, I think one of them, like I said, one of them is definitely going to the NFL. He just declared that earlier today. So it is what it is.